Well, thanks for clicking on the Me&Him podcast. We're back again. It's me, Jason, with my dad, Matt. How you going, Dad?
I'm still alive, thank God.
Yeah, you're still alive. 81 now, the oldest living jellyfish in history. Is that true?
No, not in history. In the last 100 years.
That's impressive. He calls himself the silverback. I haven't checked his back, but I'm pretty sure it's silver. So we've got...
And it glows in the dark.
So we're on season 2 of the podcast right now, and we've been having so much fun inviting people into the virtual studio, really great men, interesting men. And today we have the most interesting man of all, Mr. Mike Stanley Jones. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Don't do that to me, Jay. Don't pump me up. I'm happy to be here talking to you guys. You're awesome.
Yeah, no, look, the crowd is going wild. In the future when we release this. But Mike, so good to have you here. We just had a quick chat before we started recording, and Dad and Mike actually had their microphones and set up working, and here's me trying to organize it all. I couldn't hear a thing. So, yes, I was embarrassed, meant to be the guy who knows all this stuff, but we all got on. So Dad, I've invited Mike on. Mike is we've known each other how long now, mate?
Got to be 18 years. Because that's when I started nippers with your son.
Yeah, that's right. Started in nippers down in my viewpoint in Avalon in the northern beaches, God's own, the Insular Peninsula as it's known. And Mike and I have kind of gone through a bit of a journey. We catch up semi-regularly, and I always have the best time with you, mate.
Nice. Love it when you get in contact. It's awesome.
Yeah.
This one was a bit of a surprise, but...
What, the podcast?
Yeah.
I said to him, Dad, I'm like, oh, look, hey, buddy, how do you feel I've been doing a podcast? He goes, oh, I'm not that interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you want me? Yeah.
Thank you. Word perfect.
Well, you are interesting, sir. And Dad, in the short preamble or the pre-conversation we had before we started recording, what do you reckon? You had a quick chat to Mike. What do you think?
That was T-shirt. Liz Hurley was one of my favourite girls.
Liz Hurley. It's actually Hurley, a surf brand, but that's okay. And Dad, I'll let you explain this because we hopped on earlier to sort of record earlier in the day, and Mike was MIA, and we were a bit worried about him. And I remember, what did you say to me? Because I told you about his personality and everything.
He obviously had a higher priority.
He had a high priority, right? So I didn't hear from him for an hour or two after that, and I'm like, I text him going, buddy, is everything okay? You all right? And Mike, can you tell me what your higher priority was, please?
Well, I'm very sorry for you guys.
You don't have to be sorry.
Don't apologise.
You had a good excuse.
New South Wales coast at the moment is copping an absolute massive surf. And I took my youngest son to a place called Rave, and we rode some waves and had one of the most exciting surfs of our life. And 3 hours passed just like that. I'm scorched. Wow. My face is sunburned. My limbs are tired, but oh my God, the adrenaline was running for those 3 hours. And then we realized that we were supposed to be doing a podcast with you guys. So I was very sorry.
Like we're not live.
Me.
And when Jason told me, I said, father-son surfing is far more important than talking to two people, one of whom is a total stranger.
That's so cool.
Because this whole podcast is about the father and son relationship,
so it worked,
and how important it is.
It worked out. Yeah, you were true to form, my friend. And also, there's an element of being present in those moments, and not just present with your son, but present in that sort of swell, which I was down on the coastline today, and those rollers out the back just coming in. It's pretty impressive. So to be out on there, I don't know how you do it, to be honest, dude. It's scary.
No, I'm going to admit we picked one of the smallest waves there is on the peninsula because we're learning foiling. So we're up on one of these foils.
You're on the foil?
Yes.
Wow.
So I don't know what I'm doing taking it on at this age, but I'm having a ball, like you say, with my kid. And we're just one for one at the moment, just every training session, time on board, and we're getting better. So.
Oh, wow. Look, I mean, so much to talk about with you, Mike, and I've been really looking forward to this conversation. I know that I mentioned to you a while back, and after my last trip to Sydney to see you, I really wanted to sort of expedite it. So I'm so glad we could be doing this. Dad and I have been doing this podcast now for the last year or so. We doing it in seasons because I just don't know how long it's going to be around for. So I figure we'll get 12 done hopefully I can do it. No, seriously, no.
It's
That's also because we wanted to kind of do a nice clean sort of 12 episodes and then sort of start again and have a sort of a fresh take. And I don't know, we're maybe 8 or 9 in so far, but had some really interesting people on. But the whole concept here, the whole theme that runs through this podcast is about father-son relationships, about male-to-male relationships, about real conversations, and also just about, I guess, a bit of joie de vivre as well, about having some fun. And you are the perfect guy to be talking to about having fun, because I've been to your raves, your beach raves, your secret beach raves over the years.
I wish I'd thought of those when I was your age.
It's
Because
amazing.
all my parties were inside.
The amount of people that want to dance on a beach blows us away, doesn't it, Jay?
Unbelievable.
So we supply some music and some laser lights and a bit of smoke if the atmosphere's there for it, and put on some great tunes, and people just come out of the woodwork to dance. And it's like 80 people on a dance floor, 3 hours solid dancing. It's so
I got to
much
say,
fun.
dancing on the sand is it's a workout. Your thighs and your calves the next day.
You know about it the next day, but at the time it's forgiving.
Yeah,
You know?
it is forgiving.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? You've enjoyed.
I loved it. I actually put a cocktail bar together for one of them, and I was making cocktails, with a phone light, with, trying to see what I was doing on a hill as, the sun's going down. Look, so there's lots to talk about. You know how to have fun, no doubt about it. But I want to start at the beginning a little bit about you, where you grew up, and Dad, jump in at any time here, but just to sort of set the scene, where you grew up, your family environment, your relationship with your dad, and also you becoming a dad. I just want to sort of understand a little bit about your background before we sort of dive into any topics. So where to begin?
I'm a very lucky guy because my mum and dad were English, and they came to Australia in 1968 in search of surf. So I was 1.5 years old.
They weren't 10 bob poms.
They were.
They
So they took 6 weeks on a boat coming out with me, the screaming child, the screaming 1.5-year-old, and persevered with it and got here with just a wooden trunk of belongings and made a go of it. They did 6 months in Kirribilli, and then they came to Avalon, and I've been here the whole time. So I am the most insular peninsula person you will meet. So I consider myself really lucky because they couldn't have found a nicer place, and it's a lovely community. And yeah, I had a really nice relationship with my dad. There was only 24 years between us. So he was a young dad, and he skateboarded with us, surfed with us. He'd tow us, he'd put a tow rope up from the back of the car and tow us up the long hills so we could skate back down. And when I got older, I did triathlons with him. So my dad was like my best mate. He was just a guy that you could spend time with and just love it. Just naturally, no effort, just slotted in nicely.
Well, it
sounds beautiful.
Yeah, and it also sounds a lot like the relationship you have with your boys from what I've seen as well, Mike.
So I have taken so many leaves out of my dad's book. He set me up beautifully for adventures and for sport and just life in general. And he did it without trying. It was just him through and through, and with my mum. So we led a life of camping,